Hmm? Ah! Oh.
Welcome to a Face Project podcast. Face Project podcast.
Hello?
It's just pure life. It's pure
And my
innocence.
mom
It's
is a
pure
writer. My
gratitude.
So I ended up in America.
I am an adopted
because
Korean and have been all my
To me,
life.
it's a perfect blend of science and
I
creativity.
was screaming, I will live over here till I die.
I just want to quickly say before I dive into information about today's episode that we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary of the rebranding and relaunch of A Face Project, both the podcast and the magazine. So we're very excited to bring you a bunch of new stories this year and hope you continue to listen and enjoy all of our stories from all of our storytellers. I am on the road still. I am in Hawaii, and I've been trying to get a bunch of intros recorded for the podcast. I have a few podcasts that I've edited that are ready to go in the can that I just keep putting it off, and it's because this is really not a sob story, but it's because I live really close to the ocean, and as you probably can hear, there are lots of birds, and you might even be able to hear the noise of the waves. And the house I live in is kind of an older house, and there's no way to get away from noise. I can, like, even if I'm in the closet with a towel over my head, it's still something's coming through. So I just thought, why not be, well, first of all, able to breathe while I'm talking, but why not be a little more authentic with it? So I am coming at you from Hawaii, and thank you for your patience with the sound audio quality. I hope it's coming through well. This episode is what I like to call a throwback episode. Even though we celebrated our 1-year anniversary, A Face Project was founded by me 4 years ago this April, and it had a completely different format from what it has now. So I saved, of course, all of the wonderful stories from our storytellers that were edited for that. It was like a slideshow format. And I've repurposed them into the podcast. So this is one of those. It's a story that needs to be heard and a topic that is sort of right in front of us all the time, but something that we may not think too much about. And the theme that I pulled from this is the idea of what you take pride in. And I decided to take the question of what do you take pride in to the public. And here's what they had to say.
What do you do that you take pride in?
I take pride in writing my own music and trying to record like almost all the instruments, producing it and performing it.
I take pride in my closest friendships, my tribe. I take pride in that because never really had many true friends, and the ones I do have, I'm not sure what I did to deserve them. So I take a lot of pride and honor the fact that I've attracted them and connected with them, and created this unconditional love between us.
I am really active in the local grassroots community, so getting other people actively involved in the political process, as well as understanding how the current political process functions, and holding our elected officials accountable to the messed up things they do a lot of the times.
Before we get into Satya's story, I also wanted to reiterate that it is our 1-year anniversary. So if you've been tuning in with us over the past year, 2016 into 2017, thank you. If you have been listening to A Face Project podcast for the last year, there are a couple of things you can do to support us. If you're watching your budget and you don't have a lot to give, consider heading on over to iTunes and just leaving us a review. A review really helps us to climb up in the rankings and reach other people that are searching for storytelling podcasts like ours. So head on over to iTunes, leave us a quick review. We really, really appreciate that. If you would like to help contribute to keeping a podcast going and running, we have a small staff that I couldn't do this without, and that needs to be paid. So one of the ways to support a podcast is by becoming a contributing member. $1 a month, $5 a month, a one-time donation of any amount you choose. You can head on over to afaceproject.com/contribute, or just head on over to afaceproject.com and look in our menu or on our front page, and there are a couple of buttons that say contribute. We really, really appreciate it and are grateful for all of your support. Okay, that said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks again for your patience with the audio. I'm hoping this is coming through in a way that's not too distracting. Okay, I'm gonna get right into the story. Here's Satya.
Hello, my name is Satya. I'm from Minneapolis, and I'm a hairstylist, and I love my job. I work at the hair police. I would consider myself artistic in general. I would say I've been working here for 13 years. I was 19, and I started out as a receptionist, never thinking that I would actually still be here all these years later. I've had some grand visions of being, some fine artist somewhere, but now I get to do art every day on real people, which is better. I felt kind of thrown into the deep end, so to speak. The salon's kind of industrial, definitely more alternative in nature. And I wasn't that weirded out by that. I was a little more alternative anyway, but it was like over the top, where I was like, okay, I feel like I need to have pink hair and, green shoes or something. I like all the styling that I do because there's a wide variety of options. So I can do your basic haircut. And I can do a basic haircut because some people get scared that I'm going to give them a mohawk or something, and I don't. So I've had a few people, oh, you should cut my daughter's hair. And then the dad's like, don't take her there. So I think I'm going to just make it too wild. So, but yeah, so I, do a lot of extensions, do a lot of dreadlocks, do a lot of really fun, crazy colors, bleach out big chunks of it, or make a rainbow on your head, or putting my daughter's hair in fun little pigtail things. She doesn't have a lot of hair yet, so I can't do a lot with her, but I will do plenty of things with her hair when she has more hair. My daughter is 3, with barely any hair, which for a hairstylist mother is sort of a bummer. So it's nice. I have a wide variety of fun things I get to do at my job every day. Everyone has their thing. For one, I can't believe I'm still here, and for two, it's still as fun as it was when I first started. It's actually more fun because now I went to beauty school and I got my license, and now I do hair. So now I've kind of seen a lot of different angles of the salon. I've gotten my, I'm an independent contractor, so I have my manager's license. So I've kind of run the gamut. I used to get my hair done here in high school. It's just been a very nice turn of events, I guess. I'm sure that some people would look at my life and say, wait, you start work at 11 or 12? I roll in at the crack of noon. I'm sure some people don't really consider it as real of a job as, say, their 9-to-5 job, that they're sitting in their office feeling like they're working their asses off. And here I am lollygagging around, talking to people about their, crazy lives and doing fun hair, making people happy. It's still a lot of work, but I think a lot of people would not consider it a job, different type of a job. My job, I also stand on my feet all day. I get to wear whatever I want, yes, but I'm not going to walk up in my pajamas either. So I still feel like I have a professionalism about me. I'm providing a service that's just as needed as whatever service they're providing. Possibly even a better service, depending on their job. With my job, I get to see immediate results and the appreciation. But I think in general, a lot of people do not appreciate their job. A lot of my clients complain about their job, and sometimes it's just a bad day, and sometimes it's maybe you just need to go off the beaten path. Because sometimes what is going to make you happy is where you least expect it to be. I never thought that I would be a hairstylist. I was like a straight A student. My mom thought I was going to be some grandiose, like go off to college, get 1 million degrees, and save the world or something. You know, as most parents think their kids are perfect. But, you know, she was upset when I went to beauty school. She's like, you have so much more potential. You should use your brain. Like, I use my brain every day talking to people, you know, making them feel good about themselves and helping them out with their problems. And I still feel very competent in what I do, and I like that. There's always a risk being self-employed, as with anything. So I'm not going to say everyone should just run off and I hate my job, and, you know, if you have a family and house and stuff, yeah, you have to provide. But I think that's why you just have to have a business plan, or, you know, just maybe don't have all your eggs in one basket. You know, I know a lot of people that they work maybe their job that they don't love, doing something they love on the side, or selling something on Etsy. I know plenty of people that start selling something on Etsy, they quit their job at the bank or whatever, and guess what? Now they're full-time making jewelry and loving their job and doing stuff for fashion shows or whatever. It might have taken a few years to get to that point. I think that's what, you know, people need to realize. They can't just up and be like, well, it's not fair, I want to be a musician. Well, you got to practice first and build up, you know, build up like places and people that like you and a venue, and there's a lot of steps before you're like, I'm famous. Everyone should appreciate the job that they have, because hopefully you can find something that fits your niche. Like I said, I like doing hair, I like people, I like being creative, I like art. For me, it's a good job. You know, for someone else that loves math, being an accountant, working in an office, something more regimented is probably going to fit the bill with a personality like that. And I think that the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate my job. I just wish that more people would appreciate their own job in the same way. And you know what, maybe look at your life and say, if I really hate going to work every day, then maybe I should try to find something else to do. So you find what works for you. So I was really lucky. I still feel really, really lucky.
This episode was recorded and produced by me, photography by Natalie Jennings, layout and design by Aaron Woods. The music you heard today was by The Small Cities. One final note before I sign off. If you have a second, right now, if you have your phone in your hand or if you're sitting at your computer, head to afaceproject.com and sign up to our newsletter. Not just because you want to know what's going on with our community, but because we are offering samples of our digital magazine. So if you want to check that out, if you thought that when I mentioned the magazine before it was kind of cool sounding, head on over to afaceproject.com and sign up to our newsletter. The easiest way to do that is to go into our menu about what is a Face Project, and you'll see the widget right there. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate all of your support. If I didn't mention it earlier in this episode, we have consistently exceeded our downloads each month. So that means more of you are listening, more of you are sharing this with your friends, and we couldn't be more grateful. So thank you again for listening, contributing, and subscribing. We will be back in a couple of weeks.